Hello, kind people. This is Dmitry, and I'm going to try and carry on with my mini-series of listener reviews, and we'll see whether I can go the whole year with them. But so far, I really enjoy this year of the listener puzzles, and this week is no exception. Although I'm probably a little bit less enthusiastic about this puzzle than about the previous 5. So it is on your screen. It is called The Green Grass Dawn, and we'll come back to the title. It's by Smudge, and I've been informed that Smudge is not a set that I'm familiar with. I started solving Listener in 2021, and I don't think Smudge appeared in the Magpie at all, which is the other source of thematic cryptics for me. And I think his last Listener was maybe it was 2008. I think it was 2016. And but I am informed that that one was an absolute monster, and people struggled, or at least some very good solvers I know. So so yeah, expectations were high. So let's read the preamble. What you can see on the screen is the grid filled sort of right up to the end game, and you will see how that goes. So the preamble goes like this. For 8 clues, reviewing the answer, whatever that means, provides a definition or wordplay for the entry. So this is very puzzling. 3 of their entries are 2-word phrases, one nonsensical, and one is thematic in conjunction with a normally clued entry elsewhere. Now, having solved the puzzle, I can't help but think that this word nonsensical in the preamble is actually a hint. So the remaining 35 clues each need a word removed to enable solving. This is a common device. But then, instead of just getting a straightforward message somehow from these words, things get complicated. 9 of these words define individual words in the theme entries, omitting a synonymous pair. From the others, the last 1 or 2 letters spell out the thematic source, 2 titles overlapped, again, whatever that means, and its author. The 9th, unused review reaches a 3-word conclusion that solvers must apply to a 2x2 block of cells. The chambers is a primary reference, but doesn't have, and then presumably this is the list of just the thematic entries, because if you look at those entries and those, but it is helpful, as we'll see. So I think this is a big kind of help, and I would imagine, although I might be wrong, that this help came not from Smudge but from the editors, who thought that solvers might need some extra help here. So they explicitly say, because they could have just said, the Chambers dictionary, does not have, but some thematic entries are not in Chambers or something like that. So anyway, so the way to do that is that you kind of looking at the list of the clues, you could straight away recognize these thematic ones, and because their answer lengths in that are indicated in the clue list have nothing to do with the entry length. So 21 across has 4 slots for the entry, but it only has 4 cells for the entry and has 12-letter answer. I found those thematic ones hard, although the very first one I solved was this thematic one. So size of leaves once, pale then flogged is an anagram of pale then, and it is elephant. And elephant used to be the size of, I think, paper once. So it's an archaic word. But the others I struggled with, and so I really had to just fill the grid with, the rest. And they were not easy, those clues as well, but I don't know, let's maybe have a look at some of them. I don't think I even parsed all of them fully. So, mineral of wooden empty shell is spinel, I'm not sure how to pronounce. This is a type of mineral. And so pine is a type of wood. Empty shell is an empty word shell. So the first and last letter of the word shell, and you get a mineral like that. And fossil thus becomes an extra word. And once you do that, you get the grid. So this is, I think, what you have if you just fill the all the non-thematic entries. And then you realize that this, and I'm just going to tell you how I solved this, and I think there could be like other ways of doing this. But I noticed that, the Chambers Dictionary has some of the thematic entries. So for example, it doesn't have the answer for 16 down, but it has the entry. And so if you look at that, the only thing that fits here is river horse. So that's one thing. So then similarly, here I think the only word which fits is black. Here, this is very tempting to put potato peel here, although, you don't really know. And here, definitely the only thing that fits is daughter. So 3 down, potato peel is not in Chambers, but it is very tempting to put it here. And then you sort of struggle with others. Actually, you probably could go to Collins and try to fit this word for 28 across using some sort of aids, but then I started looking at these extra letters, and I was lucky enough to try and spot the name of the so I spotted Sylvie and Bruno in the beginning here. So as you can see, this gives you SI, this is an LL, this is an AV, this is an EIE, here you have N, ED, RB, ER. And of course, some of them might not be part of this thematic source, and because they might be one of those 9 that I used in the other way. But you kind of can, with a bit of luck, you can spell here Sil, V, and Brew, and then there is Bruno somewhere further down. And this is not easy, right? Because sometimes you have to take 2 letters, sometimes you just have to take 1. But Sylvie and Bruno is the last thing by Lewis Carroll, and you can spot something that looks a bit like Lewis Carroll towards the end of this list of words. As you can see, like this, for example, LL is suggestive. So, yeah, and that still is not tremendously helpful unless you really know what is the most famous piece about in Sylvie and Bruno. And I had no idea, and I probably should know this. But what I then, I think I then solved another of those thematic entries, specifically this. So, a spoiled brat in defeat, a bad influence, and I realized that the answer to this is albatross, which is, an anagram of brat. So air is just this air, and then there is an anagram of brat in defeat, which is loss, and an albatross, one of its meanings is a bad influence. Because of the sailor's superstition, probably, but I'm not sure. So, once you then search for, albatross and elephant, say, because this was elephant, within the text of Sylvie and Bruno, you get to this wonderful piece. And this wonderful piece is called the Mad Gardener's Song. So this is a poem by Lewis Carroll, which which is well worth to be sort of read in its entirety, but I don't want to, ruin it completely. But so I encourage you to read it. He thought he saw an elephant that practiced on a fife. He looked again and found it was a letter from his wife. At length I realize, he said, the bitterness of life. He thought he saw a buffalo upon the chimney piece. He looked again and found it was his sister's husband's niece. Unless you leave this house, he said, or send for the police. And it goes on, and there are 8 of them, and they all have this structure that, he thought he saw something, and then he looked again and found it was. And there is our albatross that fluttered round the lamp. He looked again and found it was a penny postage stamp. You'd best be getting home, he said, the nights are very damp. So now we realize what we have to do. So the answers to all those thematic clues are from this set. There is, buffalo, elephant, rattlesnake, Bunker's Clark, kangaroo, coach and 4, albatross, garden door, and that's it. And then the 9th, and it turns out to be this one, is unused. You actually, and this is kind of one of my, I wouldn't say I don't think the puzzle is that much worse because of it, but you don't really need to solve any of these clues, right? As soon as you realize what the enumerations are, okay, well, forest gate, that's garden door, and, this is coach and whatever it was, coach and 4, and so on. So, you don't really need to, even parse these clues properly. And then what you do is you just need to realize what was there instead of them. So, for example, at our, 16 down, we had a, what was it, a rattlesnake, I think, right? And, oh no, it was a Bunker's Clark. And descending from the bus, and he looked again and found it was a hippopotamus. And so a hippopotamus is a river horse. And so instead of a Bunker's Clark, you put a river horse. And so here is another one, and that is one that we have not filled yet. So he thought he saw a rattlesnake that questioned him in Greek. He looked again and found it was the middle of next week. And here you have to do it in a very, I thought I was sharing this. And here you have to actually do it in a very literal way, and you have to take the middle of the words next week, and you get this nonsensical entry ext we. And so you put this ext we, and now I need to switch back, and you put this ext we here, right? And this becomes an ext we. And so here you have a double rule of 3, which is a cryptic thing for hexarchy, and here you have a letter from his wife, and his wife is a spouse, and you take a letter off, and you get this thing sows, which is a pickle. And so you then can easily fill everything. So this becomes Alu, which is a bear without a head, so it's Baloo without his first letter. And then the only thing you need to do to complete the puzzle and submit is to find the last unused review, which finishes with this 3-word conclusion: extinguishes all hope. And so I believe we have to follow it, and we have to get rid of this, two bloke which had hope written in it. And I think this is what you have to submit. So why? So if you, again I'm sharing the wrong thing. Sorry. So there was hope written here, and you have to get rid of it. Whoop. And this is what you have to submit. We haven't really touched any of this bit where, the remaining 35 clues, 9 of the words define individual words in the theme entries. What is all that about? And then from the others, how the last 1 or 2 letters spell out the thematic source. We just looked at, the beginning. And this is actually how I solved it. I think I finally parsed them all. And this was not easy and was completely unnecessary as well. So you could submit without it. But I think so. This is how you get the extra letters, the last or 2 last letters that give you Sylvie and Bruno concluded. And here you have, sorry, I haven't finished it. Conclude. Oh gosh, I forgot again how it worked. Conclude. Okay, maybe I just have not done it properly yet. So why is that CE? Because I guess... So, okay, so what I'm puzzled now again is that I think concluded ends here. And then Lewis Carroll starts here. And I'm not sure about what this thing is doing. Because I don't think this is one of those extra words. Now I'm sort of a little bit worried again. Because I don't think Lewis Carroll had any CE sort of... I mean, obviously he was Charles Ludwig Dodgson, but... yeah, that's a problem. Okay, well, anyway, I'm not going to change that, and I'm still... Okay, so let me know in the comments if you are watching this, like, why this is the case, and what's going on with this alliance. Because I think alliance is an extra word, so what was it? It was bead. Evie was bad, and you insert "er" in it, and shoot aside, I think, is the definition. Bead is this thing on a gun. Concluded. Whoa, I really don't know. Because I think we are running out of clues. I think we have the 9 that we need. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh no, should be... Sorry, the 9 of the words define individual words in the entries. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, okay. So maybe we need an alliance. Okay, let's try and count them together. Okay, so here are the thematic words. So there is black, which together with normally clued penny gives penny black, which is a postage stamp, which is one of the things that you have to replace it. Then there is this headless bear, Baloo. Then there is some vegetable something that's a potato peel. Then there is this middle of next week, which is X-twee. Then there is the spouse without a P. Then there is this river horse, and then there is daughter, which is husband's sister's niece or something. So let's see what defines them. So so the way I thought it works is we have 1, 2, 3. Okay, so maybe you need something to define penny as well. But penny is not an alliance. Okay, so the way I read it is this. So potato and Baloo is a synonymous pair, so they're not going to be included in the definitions. And then you need individual words. So you have something defining river, something defining horse, something defining daughter, something defining source, defining peel. And here I thought you have X and you have twee, so that's 2 words. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then you have to have penny as well. And the way I thought it worked was, diversity is X, Waterway is a river. Girl is daughter. Precious is twee. Pico is sauce. Sooty is black. Charger is a horse. Blade is a peel. And that only leaves Penny. So can I find why alliance might be a penny? That would be helpful. Okay, it's very embarrassing that I have to look at the dictionary sort of right now. Let's have a look at alliance. Let's see what it can define. Member or something in party to an alliance. Kinsman, a state of being, allied, union, kinship, subclass or group of families in botany. I am not sure. I'm not sure how this last one works. So maybe we have to split one of them into more words. So maybe penny is not thought of as thematical because only, I don't know, it says, it's thematic. One is thematic in conjunction with a normally clued entry elsewhere. So I'm not sure whether you treat this. Oh, sorry, this is a thematic entry. Oh, this is a thematic entry or not. But black is sooty. I think everything else kind of worked. You could split penny into Penn and New York, but that becomes even more of a problem, I guess. Wow, I don't know. Oh, sorry, we also had this, hexarchy. That was a thematic word. So that might be an alliance. Yeah, that's an alliance, because hexarchy is... so what is it? A hexarch is, let's find out, because it's not in chambers. But hexarchy is a group of 6 allied states or kingdoms, each under its own ruler. Oh, okay. Apologies for all this. I just completely missed that we had one more thematic word. Okay, that makes sense. So penny is not treated as thematic, and accent we is, and indeed then, let's put this alliance in green as well. So those words define individual words in the thematic entries, and then the rest gives you Sylvie and Bruno concluded Lewis Carroll. And this is quite nice, but unfortunately absolutely not needed, right? So you, and I think it's a pity that, it's beautiful, but I don't know whether all of the solvers would go through the pain to, disassemble all this. So yeah, great puzzle, wonderful theme, very hard until you, crack what this is all about. So another very solid listener, and let's see what this next week brings us. Thank you for watching. Apologies for, messing up at the very end. But yeah, hope this was somewhat enjoyable. Bye.